Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great weekend. And good morning, Norm. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm doing well. How about you?
Excellent, excellent. I'm doing well myself. Let's get these screens all set up here. Here's the HALT scanner on the bottom. Just gotta get this. There we go. All right. So good morning, everyone, and welcome once again. Very excited about this week as we officially kick off our Bearable Traders Challenge. So today's the day one of the challenge. Looking forward to see how many of you guys are how do you end up green, red, break even, whatever the case may be. For today is going to be exciting either way. So let's see, light gappers list today. Not much going on, just Tesla on here, typical for a Monday. So we'll give this a little bit of a time to start developing. Here's the watch list from last week. We're going to just remove this here. Let's see what we got going on. So in the meantime, just want to remind everyone that April 7th, Brian and Andrew will be attending a Toronto meetup. So make sure you log into our website. Abiel has put a post in our main chat room on their announcements. I'm going to post this one here in our YouTube chat room. So definitely check that out. There's the link there where you can meet up with Andrew and Brian on April 7th in Toronto. So these meetups are always great. Get to meet other people, talk trading, have a drink or two, and just have a good time. So if you're in that area, definitely check that out. I'm not too far from there, so I might hop over. Let's see how things go. I might do that. All right, guys. So again, just if you're having any questions in regards to the challenge, post them, send them over to our email, challenge@bearabletraders.com. Norm, do I have that right?
Challenge at Bearable Traders. Yep,
Yep.
correct.
So any questions, send them there. And Norm and Ryan has been doing a great job just getting back to you guys on any questions you might have. But I think we've done a pretty good job to get everybody up to speed with the webinars. There's a video out as well if you haven't watched it on the onboarding. So make sure you watch that so you're all set and ready to go. William did a tip video on Saturday, so check that out as well, just to give you the best possible edge to get you going. Spot trader, you're in the area. Good. Yeah, definitely check out that link. We would love to, again, and for the meetups, very important. I'm glad you mentioned that, Spot trader. You do not have to be a member of Bearable Traders to go to the meetups. So again, you can definitely stop by and hang out with the crew. All right, guys. So here, very light today. Let's look at what the SPY is doing. I'm trying to buy some time because see if anything else comes up here. But let's see what the SPY is doing, how we are opening up today. Again, pretty flat once again. It looks like we dipped a little bit here and we're kind of getting back red to green move. So let's see what's going on right now. Again, the SPY is in a funny situation. Not funny, it's in an interesting situation. It pops up, it keeps breaking new highs. Every time it breaks a new high out of this level that we had here, it just sells back down. It looks like it finds some footing and then it comes right back up. So it's done that several times here. It broke the new high right in here and it had a really big sell-off, more than what we expected, and right back up. And then again, breaks a new high here one more time, sells off, comes right back, breaks not by much, another new high from the last couple of weeks. Again, not all-time high, of course, but just from the last couple of weeks after being down quite a bit. If we go back all the way down here, remember we had this huge sell-off end of December, January area time frame, and now again, Friday, a big sell-off, and now let's see what we do today. So interesting to see what happens. Right now, opening up pretty flat, like almost every day that we do. So not gapping either up or down. Markets are pretty quiet right now at the moment. Tesla is the only one in our gappers list. Norm, any news? Anything you have exciting for this week coming up aside from the Traders Challenge? Norm could have stepped out, or he has mic on mute. Let's see here. So while he comes back, Tesla is down quite a bit. Oh,
yeah. No, I was just going to say there's a big Apple event that's today, 1 p.m. Eastern. They're expected to announce Apple TV service, which they've been working on for years. And then so there's some other service that people are less interested in. So Apple should be interesting today. And then we'll just see what happens after that sell-off we had on Friday. That was pretty crazy when the 3 and the 10-year yields inverted and sent the algos just insane.
Yeah.
So
it'll be interesting today. See if we get a bounce or whatever the case might be. Because Friday was triple witching or something like that, right? I'm not sure what.
No, Friday on Friday the 3 and 10 year bond yields inverted for the first time since 2007, which is a
Wow.
people usually consider as a pretty strong
Mm-hmm.
indication of an upcoming recession. So
Okay.
that's
Okay.
caused Asia has sold off very hard since they opened. Obviously, they're a day ahead of us,
Mm-hmm.
and then Europe has been selling off this morning. So
Interesting. All right. So today's definitely going to be an interesting day with that. Cool. So let's see what happens today in the markets. Starting with Tesla, the only one in our gappers list so far, down 2.2, 2.3 now, 151,000 shares traded. So not a lot of volume just yet, but the pre-market action on the 5 at least looks great, right? So you have a nice downflow here, downtrend. With some volume, not as much, but again, you got some pretty good volume here that's starting to pick up. So let's see what Tesla does. Daily chart, I love the daily chart on Tesla. Look at this. This is this nice flow to it. Comes down, comes up, right back down. So that's a really pretty flow on Tesla. This is exactly what you want to see. You have some levels here, 252, and you have some tons of levels towards the top. So we'll get into these levels in a second, just kind of see what we got going on there. So let's go over our NASDAQ active, NASDAQ gainer, see if we could pop up anything out of this list here. GMHI, not much happening. Chris is on the move here, has a good pre-market action on the 5 and the 1 right now. Looks like it's just starting to pick up 5 minutes ago. So let's throw this down here. Already 238,000 shares traded, so that's nice. Let's see what the flow is on this one. Chris is at 32.76, so 32 million shares flow. That's actually not a low flow, so we can put this higher, but I'm gonna keep it down here just because the price action is it's under $5. So you still have to watch your how many shares you take. It's not a regular stock, and it's moving like a low flow, although it is a 32 million shares flow. Okay, so we still want to put it here under our risky pile. NCTY has the volume here. This one I seen we have this one quite often, but it doesn't trade very well. It seems to always sell off more than anything, right? And I mean, I'm seeing that here. You had one day where it pops out. Look at this. Opens up at a 7, just sells off. So we had this quite a bit in our watch list. Does not trade well. Has some volume today already. Looks like it's starting to sell off. We'll put it on here just to take a look at it to see how it goes. But this is one that I don't have high hopes for, and probably not one that I would want to take any type of risk on. And the float for this one, NCTY, is 24. Again, not very low float, but it just doesn't trade very well. CYCC is also has some good volume, 1.9 million shares traded. Not the best pre-market action, just seems very choppy on the 5. Daily chart, another one that, okay, we have a big sell-off here after it gaps up. This one's already starting to sell off as high as 140 and now down to $1. Again, just these stocks under $3, under $5, just are not great for me personally. But volume is great right now. Pre-market on the 5, very choppy. It looks like it wants to go under $1. So I'm not going to watch this one, guys. This could be in play today, but it's just not a stock that I prefer to trade or watch. NK is not doing anything today. ASNA is no volume. AIMT, nothing going on. AXSM, nothing happening. MDWD, nope. And last one here, RBZ, nothing going on. So let's look at NASDAQ active again. CYCC is, again, the one we just talked about. Just doesn't look great. Looks like it's going to go under $1 in a few minutes here. Just don't want to trade that. NCTY we have already. NASDAQ ETF. AMD has some good volume, 553. And actually, AMD is looking good here. Looks like it wants to go red to green. So decent pre-market action, right, on AMD?
Yeah, it looks nice to me.
I'm going to put this on here. AMD right below Tesla. PTI is not doing much. And we've seen this one before in the past. Doesn't really trade very well. Apple has no... Oh, Apple looks great. Why is it not in our scanners? It's just below 2%. That's why. But Apple looks really good. So let's just get rid of some of these levels here. We'll get some clean ones because we already have. The reason I'm doing that because we already broke through some new levels on the last couple of days, making new highs here and here over the last several days high. So I'm gonna remove those levels and we'll find some new ones. So yeah, Apple looks great. Look at this beautiful pre-market action, opening up pretty strong so far in the pre-market. So Apple's good.
And one thing to note too, it is dancing right around its 200-day moving average, I believe, as well. So
Oh yeah, yeah, I see that. Yep. Yeah, I see that on the 5 as well right here. So yeah, that's interesting. And again, the news the conference is at
1 Eastern, that's
1 Eastern.
correct.
Okay. So watch out for that, guys. If you're in a trade, again, it can go either way. So be careful when you hold to things like that. Somebody might say the wrong word and it takes, something takes a drop
And
or it
it'll,
changes direction, right?
yeah, I would also guess it'll have a massive impact on Netflix today too. So
Yeah, yeah. IDTI is not looking great. Has some volume, but look at this daily chart. This is just a horrible daily chart, not clean at all. And then pre-market, it looks like some type of buyout or whatever it is, but doesn't look good. PTI we saw already. Chris, we have down here. What else we have? Apple we have, and TVIX is a volatility index right now. It's dropping a bit. I guess the market might be pushing up right now. So, all right. So that's what we have so far, guys. Let's take a look at some of our. Oh, we got some more coming up in our gappers list. Let's look at VIAB. Up 4.2, 104,000 shares traded so far. Daily chart looks okay. It's been dropping over the last couple of days. Now it's going into a little bounce after hitting this 25 level here. Pre-market action looks horrible, but maybe starting to get going. So we'll keep it on here. See if we can get some volume. Just 104 right now. Let's see if we can get some legs under here. CGC. I have not seen CGC on the gappers list in a while. This thing was very active before. Just been caught in this chop. Look at this. Look at this daily chart. Right, had a beautiful couple of days here. Crown was moving nicely. Almost all the pot stocks were moving nicely. You could just take any of them long, and you would have made out fine. But then they topped out and just kind of been just chopping around. So they have not traded clean. I guess you can try to play the wave on these throughout the midday, but again, it just has not been. They have not been clean to trade. That's for sure. So we'll remove some of these levels here. We'll get them fresh again. Right now, only 101,000 shares traded, but we'll keep it on here just to see if we can develop some more volume. If not, we'll drop it. Let's look at MU. See what MU's got going on today. Not much volume. It looks like it wants to go red to green. Look at based on this price action. Look at this. Look at this order flow. That's a nice order.
Look at the volume coming in. That's crazy.
Yeah, something's going on. Look at this. We went from flat to 72,000 shares just in this 5-minute candle, and the order flow was moving nicely here. So MU might be interesting. We'll keep that on there. Any other ones you could think of? You said Netflix, right?
Netflix and Winnebago, WGO. Not a whole lot of volume on Winnebago right now, but it'll likely come in. It's a NYSE, so they reported earnings this morning.
Oh, okay, cool. And Netflix, what is Netflix? NFLX? Did I get that? Yeah. All right. So Netflix is it's got some okay volume, 107. Hopefully it can pick up. Wow, Netflix has been choppy. I haven't looked at a daily chart in a while, but look at this choppiness from Netflix. It's up and down. Sold off again on Friday with the SPY selling off, and now kind of figuring out what it wants to do. All right, so let's look at some of the stuff that you guys have. Someone mentioned NIO. Let's look at NIO, see what's going on with them. Again, this is a stock that I personally do not like trading. NIO is not doing much right now. I mean, 91,000 shares. Look at this pre-market action. That is really bad.
Terrible.
Yeah, that's really bad pre-market action. Again, daily chart has like a little ramp here. It's finding a foothold, looks like, but again, it's just not clean. Not something you want to watch today. Next, let's look at AVYA. This looks like a buyout. It just looks pretty flat, but it doesn't have to be. So what's the news on AVYA? It's popping up again, 28.9%, 271,000 shares traded. You see here, float is 93 million, so that's good. I'm not sure about this daily chart. Let's check. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's rumors it looks like rumors of a buyout. I'm pulling up Benzinga as well.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, it doesn't look good. And if it's rumors of a buyout, yeah, because even the daily chart doesn't look too interesting. You have all these gaps and up and down here. So I'm not sure about this one, guys. If it's rumors of a buyout, it looks like a buyout. It looks pretty flat right now. It's not really doing much. So we'll skip this one. If it gets better, we can pop into it. But right now, it's not looking great. Cron, C-O-R-N, up 1.2. Again, probably because some of the pot stocks are up as well. CGC is up. So this one is up. This one is actually my favorite one to trade out of all of them. And CGC is right there behind it. Right now doesn't have the great volume. We'll keep it on here to see if it starts moving the way CGC looks like it's going to start moving. So we'll keep that on there. So Katerina, if I'm saying that right, hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. TVIX is a volatility index, so it really moves. Again, if the SPY shoots up, this sells off, and if the SPY sells off, then this sells up. So that's the way this works. I don't usually trade this. This ticker is just not one of the things I watch because, again, you really, first of all, you want to be very careful because this thing could move on you very fast. So the risk, you have to be able to manage your risk good on this. So I say, for me, I don't consider myself an experienced trader. So I just try to stay away from stocks that are risky like this one because you can make a lot, but you can also lose a lot. And they also can trade very erratic. So you don't want to be caught in a situation where, again, some of the patterns are not really, you cannot really trade some patterns against this stock. Like you cannot do it like an ABCD pattern against this, right? Because you just don't know how the market's going to react. Can you get away with it here and there? Yes, you can, but I'd rather not trade this one. So it is tradable, but just by looking at it now, you can't tell if it's going to be in play or not in the morning.
And one thing to note, TVIX is one of the levered ETFs that moves 2 to 3 times the amount of whatever it's supposed to be moving with or against.
Right.
So when you get those, if you go back and you do a little research in history, some of those products can get so volatile. I mean, you can blow up an account in one day if it goes against you. So just keep that in mind. I'm not saying trade it or don't trade it. Brian trades it all the time. There are traders in here that do, but there are certain risks that come with those. But before you get into them, you need to know.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of like a low flow. Again, they're tradable and you can catch some good moves. But if I'm just starting out or I'm just not my niche, I'd rather just avoid them. There's other stuff that you can trade. All right. So what do we have here? So let's go over some of these other tickers. So WGO. Yes, we have WGO here. We have that one down. Next, we have IRBT. No volume on IRBT. So nothing going on there at the moment. AVP is again no volume here, guys. So daily chart looks good though, has a nice flow to it. Looks like it's kind of putting in a double bottom on the daily chart. Big day on Friday. Might sell off today, might not, might hold, but at the moment the volume is not there. ATOS. What is this one up to today? No volume, guys, on this one. Again, this could run. We've seen days with this runs. We had, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2.5 weeks ago. It ran up nicely and then it sold off. But today you don't have the volume on this one for it to look like it's going to have any type of action. PCG, no volume right now. PCG is bouncing back nicely over the last couple of weeks, as low as $5, $5.50. Up $20 now on the daily chart, but again, just no action today on PCG. And again, this is a stock that's very choppy. Not sure if you're gonna have shares for sure on this one. I don't, but again, just not something that's gonna be in play this morning. At least not based on what I'm seeing in the pre-market action. So GH, no volume. That's a beautiful daily chart though. Has been dropping here quite a bit. But looking at the stock, guys, you gotta be careful. This one drop here is a couple of bucks. Almost $3. So you want to be very careful trading this stock if you're going to look at this today. But the volume and activity is not there. And this is so important to have volume. You need to have volume to be able to get in a move that's going to actually do something and not just be, stale and sitting down there chopping around, wasting your time when you could be trading something else. Roku doesn't look great, but we know Roku's always on the move. Sold off on Friday because the market sold off. Right now doesn't have much volume, under 100,000 K traded and opening up pretty flat. So I'm not going to watch this today, but I will look out for Roku in our scanners because when it gets moving, it really does move very well. SE, no volume on this one. Next, what do we have? Microsoft. Let's see what Microsoft is up to. Yeah, Microsoft's probably going to do whatever the SPY decides to do today. So right now, again, probably going to move with the SPY. The SPY is pretty flat, so this is pretty flat as well. So we'll look for that to hit our scanners or something. 1 second, guys. See what we got over here. Let's look at PTI. PTI is down. Yeah, PTI is down, but I don't know about PTI. Again, it just doesn't. I don't know if it trades too well. What's the volume so far? Only 100,000 shares, so not much volume just yet on PTI. So we'll put it on the side for now. What else do we have? SRNE. SRNE was in play a couple of days ago. Very active. Today, actually all last week. Look at this, just nice green days here. Have a nice pullback and it takes off again. So no volume right now. Only 60,000 shares traded, but it could be something good for the mid morning. But right now it doesn't look too great at this second. All right, next, what do we have here? Did we talk about IMMU? No, we didn't talk about this one. So what's going on with this one? Oh, it doesn't have the volume, guys. So again, it has a nice drop here, down 9%, but only 1,000 shares traded. So again, just not really in play at the moment. Next, CEO. What is that one up to? Had a big day a couple of days ago, and now it's pretty flat right now, guys. Only under 100,000 shares traded. And a stock like this one, you really need the volume. You really need this to move. You need a couple of thousand shares just in the pre-market to get people's attention, to get this going, to be able to pop these type of stocks. Microsoft we looked at. So Microsoft, I think, is going to be moving with the market. So I think we'll skip it for now. Just opening up pretty flat. ACIU not doing much, pretty flat here, no volume. And we'll do one more SQ. See what we got here. SQ daily chart looks okay. Nice drop here, opening down quite a bit. Actually, not quite a bit. Sorry, 1%. So not quite a bit there, but pre-market action doesn't look great. And SQ is one of those stocks that I personally try to stay away from because it just trades very choppy. So again, I'm just probably gonna skip this. I'm gonna remove all these levels just in case we look at it in the future. But today I'm not really a fan of SQ. Everything else we have here. All right, guys, so let's look at this list. Let's make this list a little smaller. Not the best list so far. All the stuff I'm seeing here doesn't look great. Tesla looks good, dropping nicely, down another 2.8. Any news on Tesla? Why is it moving down so nice like that? All right, what do we have here? Tesla. All right, so some Elon Musk tweeted something yesterday. Was this yesterday? Yeah, yesterday, 5:20, 5:42. All right, so nothing crazy. Well, all right, Tesla's always up to something, but dropping nice here, down 2.7. Volume looks good, so I do like Tesla. Let's get some levels for this one here. We have a 252.82 towards the bottom. Let's see where we're getting that level from. This area over here. Yep, so that's a good level. And then below that, we really have another one down over here. So I'm gonna mark the low of the pre-market now, 257. See if it holds that there. Not sure what's gonna do. Looks like it's trying to put a little pullback now after selling off a bit. Towards the top, we have 260, and then we have the previous day close, and then tons of levels up here because it was consolidating here. So you have all your highs and lows listed right in this area. So Tesla looks good. Looks like it's putting in a bounce around 257, which is the low of the pre-market. I do like the pre-market action right now, selling off really nice. AMD is also doing a nice red to green move here. So again, bouncing back nicely. Let's remove some of these levels. Let's get some fresh ones. So you got this low of 2 days ago, which was Thursday, pretty close to the low of the pre-market. So we'll leave that on there. Right now, sitting right on the previous day close, and the low from the last trading day, which was Friday. Towards the top, above the pre-market close, we have 2688. So mark that down. And then above that, you have the previous day high over here and over here. So above 2688, let me see if we have something that we can put in between there. Because again, AMD doesn't move much on a regular basis. So it'd be nice to have a level that we can mark between 26 and the high. But looking at this daily chart here, there's nothing really clean. So we'll keep it as is. Yep, we got a moving average coming in here too. We can mark this one down. We got this moving average here, so we'll put that down. 2566. I'm sorry, 2656. Again, just really nice trading right now, popping up nicely. Look at the volume coming in. Just picking up here and doing a nice little ramp, over 100,000 in the last 2 5-minute candles. So that's great. VIAB not doing much again, and even so, with only 100,000 shares traded. Look at this horrible pre-market action. So I'm not going to watch this one. Daily chart looks good. You have this drop here with some good volume, and then this coming back up. But again, just not really trading well. So I'm going to get rid of this one, guys. CGC just started to get some volume. Now it's getting a bit choppy here, losing the volume. Still at just 116,000 shares traded. I'm going to get rid of it because the daily chart also has not been great over the last several days. It's just been very choppy. So I'm going to remove this one. MU is nice, doing a nice little bounce, just like AMD is doing. So I like this one. Also doing a red to green move. Let's remove some of these levels, find some fresh ones. So low of the pre-market sitting right on the moving average as well, 40.96.95. So that's a good low of the pre-market there, good support. You have the previous day close, previous day lows right over here around this area, right below the price action. Right now, let's get some levels in between here. We have a level over here at 42.15, another one at 42.54, and then we can possibly mark down 43.19. Let's do that because it has such a drop on Friday. Look at this drop on Friday. It's going through a lot of levels on here. I don't think it'll recover all, but at least we have some levels where we can expect some loss of momentum around those areas where it could be a good place to take profits if you're in this trade for the long side, or if it does a double top on one of these levels. It could be a good signal that it might be reversing. You could play it off as a risk off this off one of these levels. So MU looks good. I like that. Volume is starting to get going. 207,000 shares for MU is good. MU doesn't really pick up a lot at the pre-market action, but it can definitely get going. WGO, we're expecting hopefully to get some movement out of this later on. It is a nicey stock. Some nicey stocks don't move as fast as often in the pre-market with volume. Netflix, let's get some levels out of the way here for Netflix. So we have a clear level down here, of course. It's been so choppy the last couple of days. Just look at all this chop here. Big drop on Friday as well with the market. Low of the pre-market right now sitting at 356. Below that we have this level over here, 350. We also have a moving average coming into this area as well. That's good to have. So I think that's playing towards the downside on Netflix. Trying to put a bounce right now off this 356.14, which is the low of the pre-market, is 356. Towards the top, you have the previous day close and the previous day low. So above that moving average, right above the previous day close, you have a moving average coming in at 363.58, which also seems to have some days using it as resistance here. There's an area and here, and then you got some days over here as well. So 363.58, that could be a possible resistance area. Then above that, you have another one right over here at 366.95. You have this day bouncing off of that, and these two here, this one closing right on it, and then this one as well. So plenty of levels using that 366.95. Then above that, very clean, 370 low, the low of two trading days ago, low of the last trading day, and the high of the last trading day. So plenty of levels there. Again, Netflix seems like it wants to put a bounce here. SPY is still flat, so not doing much. CRON, CRN doesn't have the volume right now. Again, it's trying to put in a bounce here, but it's just no volume. So I'm gonna get rid of it and look at it in the turbo breakdown scanners or breakup scanners if it pops up into there. All right, let's see these two on the bottom, what they're doing. So Chris, what is Chris doing? So it's doing some kind of consolidation here, popped up above 240. It's just been holding this 240 for a bit now. Let's get some levels here. We have 299, and I think this is not a low flow, right? This is a higher flow, but I'm putting it down here because the price action is at under 3, under 5. You want to be very careful with the number of shares you take. You want to manage your risk here. So I'm gonna mark down this level towards the downside, 236, and then another one down over here at 2. Right at 2, you have a very clean level there that can use as support if it drops here again. Above the pre-market high, you have another level over here on the top of this wick over at 331. So plenty of levels in here. Again, some real good volume on 999,000 shares traded. Pre-market action looks good on the 1 minute chart. Looks like we're trying to find some support here. Hopefully get back towards the high of the pre-market, and that could be good. If it can do that, it can possibly run higher. NCTY, I'm not going to watch this one, guys. Again, this stock is just known for selling off. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So every time it gaps up, look at here, gapped up with tons of volume, but it's just sold off, right, through most of the day. Right now, it's looking like it's doing almost the exact same thing. Pops up, right? So all the action was in the pre-market, and now it's just starting to sell off again. So It's just one of these stocks that doesn't trade well. Again, here pops up, opens up, gaps up, and then sells up a little bit, then right back down. So just doesn't show that it's really one of those stocks that really takes off. It's better at selling off than selling up after a gap. So I'm gonna remove this one from our list. Let's see what else we have here. All right, guys. So this is what we have so far. Just take a quick look at it again. Okay, so Tesla is actually looks like it wants to bounce here. See what it does around these moving averages and the NVWAP. See if it can actually break through those, or if it's going to come back down and test that low of the pre-market. AMD looks good, finding a bit of resistance around the previous day close. So it's kind of consolidating here. MU also same thing, consolidating around the previous day close. WGO is one I'm going to watch probably in the mid morning, because we do have some news. Where's Apple? I thought I had Apple on here. I did have Apple on here.
You did, yeah. You must have taken it off at some point.
Yeah, I probably took it off by mistake. Yeah, because we did look at it. Yeah, Apple. Yeah, there we go. Apple does look good. Beautiful pre-market action. Let's get some levels on here. High of the pre-market is at 192. I'm sorry, 189. 193 is the high of the pre-market. 189.66 is the low of the pre-market. Not going to market because we already have the low of 2 days ago right on there, so that's pretty close. So you don't need to mark the exact thing. You have a moving average coming in here, 188. I'm going to mark that one also, 188.06. And you also have these days all kind of opening and closing around this, actually all opening around this 188.06 where this moving average is hanging out. Then towards the top, above this 192.96, which is close to the high of the pre-market, we have several highs listed right on here for from the last 2 trading days. I want to see if we get something in the middle, kind of get some kind of reference point that we can use here. Yep, we're going to use this one over here. Oops, don't move. 194.97. And I'm sure Matt R. later will be in communication with him in the chat where he's going to give us some pivot points too, because he tracks that very well, which is always interesting. Just know where the pivot points are at. All right, guys. So this is what we have so far. Let's see what else. What else you guys have on your end? And Norm, anything you have on your side that you like this morning, aside from what you told me already?
No, I think it's going to be much of a scanner kind of day, really.
Yeah, I think so too. I think, again, the stuff on here, even the stuff that I have doesn't look great. So it's going to be one of those days where I definitely want to wait my 5 minutes, definitely want to wait for a good setup, good strategy, something that's gonna move. And a good point, Kurt. Let's see what the market does, because if the market starts rallying up, right, I think it could be putting in for a bounce here. It could help some of these stocks move in one direction, so we'll look out for that in our scanners as well. WGO I'm going to put down here for possible mid-morning play. All right, so we have Chris here. We have Apple. Apple's looking good. Netflix is trying to bounce back from this 356 low of the pre-market. MU looks good. AMD is good, and Tesla looks very good. So what happened to WGO? Well, they have some news out, right? Norm, you mentioned they have some news or
WGO. They had earnings this morning. I think it was the only company reporting this morning.
Yeah. So I'm gonna watch it here to see what it does. Again, right now it's pretty flat with no volume, but they do trade well. Look at this daily chart; it has a nice flow to it. So just gonna keep it on here just to make sure that we can check it out. So the guidance wasn't great. Okay, yeah, so that'll be good to watch. Let's see if it can lose some here. Actually, let's find some levels for it just to be ready. So towards the bottom, you have the previous day close right on there now. Below that, you have this level here, 297. I'm sorry, 27.96, and you could tell by these 3 days, right? You got a bounce here, back to it. You have a bounce, and then you have two that actually, they break down below that, right to the same spot. So we can mark those 2 levels as well. Right over here, 26.71. So we'll mark that as well. And towards the top, you got plenty. I don't think you need to mark anymore. You could put this one right over here. It's pretty close to where the price action is at, 29.50. You got this day here. See if it can use that as some kind of resistance. But overall, you got plenty of highs and lows sitting right over here. Got some moving averages coming in. So plenty of stuff on the top side. So I'm not going to watch this one at the open. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 I'm going to watch at the open here. And see how these goes. And then this one I have here for possible mid-morning play. Or if it hits our scanners, I think today I'm going to really focus on watching what the scanners have and see if anything pops up there. All right, let's look at a few more. So we have BA. The only thing I don't like about BA is that I think it has become very choppy. Again, it just
Yeah.
hasn't picked the direction. So, and it's such a high price stock too. Like when it moves like this is great. You have some really good days. Here you have a nice range too. Here too you have a nice drop, and then I think some news came out and it bounced back. But now it's just been very choppy. So I'll be careful with BA over the next couple of days. Just not a fan of it right now. Next we have Solo. See what Solo is up to. Solo is dropping a bit here. Not much volume at the moment. Um, Again, I'll be concerned with these stocks now because what they do is after they have a big day, again, they usually start to sell off, and it looks like Solo is doing that now. So again, we'll look for this in our scanner, see what it does. What else we have? ADXS. It's a penny stock, so we don't trade those here. I don't even know how to find levels on something like this really, because again, this just could be they could be so erratic, and the risk is just very hard to play out. Yeah, Alex, AVYA is a rumor, is a buyout rumor, so we're gonna skip that one. Actually, right now, even the price action doesn't look great on it neither, right? AVYA, yeah, I mean it's just been pretty flat. I mean, it looks here like it's trying to hold this moving averages here, but again, I think I'll just watch something else for today. All right, good morning, man. Thank you for joining us. First time in the room. Welcome, welcome. We're glad to have you here. SHIP. Let's see what SHIP. Not much volume on SHIP. It's been having a couple of down days, but for the pre-market open, for the market open, I'm not going to watch this one just because the volume is not there. But there's rumors of a former breakout, former runner. Oh, okay, yeah. Not rumors, former. Yeah, this we used to trade this a lot before, but not lately. We haven't really traded this one. So, all right, guys. So this is what I have. Again, not the best watch list for today. Tesla's coming back down. Let's see what it does at 257. Not the best watch list, but that's what happens. You know, some days are great and other days are not as great with the watch list. And some days you have a watch list you think is horrible and it turns out to be a good day. So just be open-minded about it. Be neutral on all your moves and wait for the pre-market action to give you an opportunity. Yes, Barracuda, you could buy, you could go long, you could go short in the pre-market in sim. That's your whatever sim program you're using, whether with us or directly with Dash Trader Pro, they should allow you to do that. I avoid trying to trade in the pre-market, but yes, you can do that. But a stock like Apple, like look at Apple for example. Apple right now is trading like if the market is open. This is very clean. You know, so someone might want to, you know, catch a breakout here, go long in this area pre-market, and they probably see it as a reversal, double top off this, not a clean double top, but off this support they have here. I mean, resistance. They might want to go short to VWAP. So in some cases, you can trade in the pre-market. You have some clean moves. Look at the volume, 592. So you do have some opportunities. Yeah, Tesla. Yeah, Tesla's good. Oh, it's breaking down. Yeah, I like Tesla. It's breaking down. It looks like it wants to crack the low of the day at 257, low of the pre-market. So let's see what it does there. Next, what we have, Cron. Yeah, Cron. Yeah, I'm not sure about Cron. Again, the volume is not there. Only 68,000 shares traded, so it's not looking great right now on Cron. AXS. Yeah, it needs more volume, William. I agree. That one needs more volume on AXSM. All right, guys. So very excited today. Again, this is the Traders Challenge week. So looking forward to you guys taking some really good trades and making some really good numbers, really good decisions. Be patient. Again, right now, it doesn't look like nothing looks too great at the moment. So be patient. Setups will happen. There's something always throughout the day, mid-morning. You're going to catch something if you don't have something right at the open. So no fear of missing out this week. Let's focus on good strategies, good setup. And don't force anything, right? Just wait for that right setup. Wait for a good entry. Entry is everything. If you have a great entry, you can manage your risk correctly, and you know you can be in the driver's seat. But if you have a bad entry, you're chasing things. You know you could get chopped up so easily, especially when the market's not giving it to you, right? On Friday, I think it was on Friday, everything was just selling off. You could just went short anything, and you would have done well. Right, and I saw a lot of you guys recaps and comments. Everybody did very well on Friday. Days like that, you take advantage. And then there's days where you know you can buy a win. You know those days you want to manage your risk correctly. That's the hardest thing about a trader, managing your risk. And that's our job today, this week, next week, and just basically the entire time we're trading. IQ, guys, has some volume starting to pick up here a little bit, but I'm not going to watch it today. Again, I'm going to keep my eyes on the scanners today as well. Norm, I'm sure you're going to be doing the same thing also, just to see what else pops up
Correct.
there. So,
yeah.
All right, guys, we're coming up on 9:10. Anybody has anything else before we hop off? We have 5 more minutes before we finish the pre-market show. Chris?
Carlos, I'm gonna hop off. Hop off now. I've got a couple of challenge emails that I've got to deal with, so
Sure.
I'll leave you to it.
Sure, man.
Everybody, thanks for watching. You guys trade safe. Have a good day.
Excellent. Thank you, Norm. All right. So yeah, Chris is looking good. It's bouncing back. It has some support here at 247. So we'll mark that down. So 247, some good support here at this moving average coming in as well. See if it can hold here and take off towards the high of the day. So here's where some people might see this and go long, in the pre-market. So you guys will be able to trade the pre-market. They might see, hey, it tested this once, twice, it's popping up. They might take an entry here, once it's getting to the moving averages. So the pre-market is tradable, but you got to find your niche, right? If you trade everything when you first start out, you're never going to, specialize in something, and that's very important in day trading. So for example, I know some people that, myself, opening range breakup, that's all I do, right? That's all I do at the beginning of the market. So I focus on that, and then I focus on possible reversals in the mid-morning, and that's it. I'm not trying to catch any trend trades. I'm trying to catch all these other things. So there's so many ways to trade. Now, I'm not telling you that's what you should trade. Anyone that tells you, hey, you should trade this way, is obviously not giving you good advice. You should trade the way you're able to find some good opportunities, whatever you can identify with, whatever you can identify in the charts as easy as possible and fast. So focus on that. Don't let anybody tell you, hey, you got to trade this way and you'll be all right. No, trading is very personal and it has a lot to do with your personality. So try to find a strategy that you can identify with, that you can catch quickly, and you can manage your risk to reward as best as possible. All right. Let's see what we have here. I agree, Gabriel. So Gabriel's saying good trading is one where we follow our trading rules. Absolutely, especially on red days, right? You can have a red day, and as long as you follow your rules, it's okay, because that means you took, you was careful, you took good setups, because not every day is gonna work out. It's just what happens. AVYA, yeah, but it's rumors of a buyout. Although you got a range here, right? You got as low as 1607, then as high as 1790. So I'm not sure about this buyout, and you got some volume. So you know what? How many I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could watch one more. I have 6 watch lists here, so we have 6 screens on my layout, so we could watch one more. So AVAA, let's find some levels for it, just in case this thing does something that we were not expecting. Low of the pre-market 1707, high of the pre-market 1790. What do we have in between here? Another level right over here at 1673. What else we have? Right now it's kind of sitting on the level. Yeah, definitely right now price action is sitting on this level. Look at this one here. I'm just going to mark it. You have one over here at right with the price action is 1736. Above that you have 1789, which is the high of the pre-market, which is very close to this area here as well. Above that, in case we decide to run, we have a moving average coming in right in here also. So let's mark this moving average 1832. We'll mark that, and I think that will be good enough for this one here. All right, let's see what it does, guys. Again, I know it's rumors of a buyout, but right now, you're right. Whoever pointed this out, quickly, I think I feel you, Peter B pointed it out, and some people on YouTube as well. It does look like it's trying to break out here, and it actually does not look like an actual buyout at the moment. So we'll keep an eye on it just in case. All right. Let's see our list one more time. So Tesla could not break that 257. Remember, it dropped down here. It looked like it was going to actually break down, and it held off, bouncing one more time from that. AMD is losing a bit here, green to red. Let's see if we can hold these moving averages. MU right on the previous day close line, trying to hold. Netflix putting in a good bounce, actually, getting the moving averages under it. Apple's selling off a bit here, trying to get down to VWAP, looks like, and AVYA selling up. All right, so not bad, not a bad list here. Not a bad list. And then Chris, what is Chris up to? Selling up a bit here, could be in play. Now, Chris is not a low float, but I have it down here because it's 32 million shares float. And it is under $5. I want to watch whatever number of shares I take here because you want to be careful with that. And then WGO I'm watching because it had the only stock that I think that has some earnings today. So I'm going to watch it to see what it does later in the mid-morning. Zach, you're very welcome. Thank you. Trade safe as well. All right, guys, 9:15. So we're going to start wrapping this up. I'm going to post this watch list when I finalize it on Twitter. So we'll send it out. And then Andrew should be on in a couple of minutes. He's going to go over his watch list as well, see what he likes. Again, not much today, not a lot of clean stuff on our gappers list. But you never know. We got some more favorites on here. MU and AMD. Let's see what these guys put in today. They've been trading very well over the last couple of days. So let's see if we can capitalize on some of those great moves today if they do that. Thank you guys for joining us on YouTube Live. Again, if you're in the challenge, trade safe. Well, trade safe even if you're not in the challenge. But if you're in the challenge, we're looking forward to seeing your numbers today. Good luck. And I'll see you guys again at 8:30 Eastern Time tomorrow. Make sure you give us a thumbs up if you like the content you're watching. And take care, guys. Have a good day.